From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
Great win! Hey, great win! Hey, most rushing touchdowns in franchise history! Hey, 519 yards of offense, 320 rushing yards. Hey, we came over here to do a job, right? And we said we're going to work the cut, right? We're going to work that cut. And then when we had the knockout punch, we got the freaking knockout punch by the offense. Hey, I'm telling you, everybody in here, phenomenal job coming over here, locking in, and getting it done when it meant the most at the end of the game. Hell of a job. Hey, enjoy this. We're going to have some fun on that plane ride. Hey, and you already know I'll see you next Monday.
Well, go out there, get the job done. You know, I was going to see y'all for the celebration on this side. Hell of a win. Y'all be safe. I'm going to give the coach beats. Y'all be safe over this weekend. Hey, let's celebrate this right now, man. Let's go. Family on three. 1, 2, 3.
Following a win in Berlin, the Colts are 8-2 into the bye week. This is Colts 360. I am Lara Overton, and this is head coach Shane Steichen. Coach, as electric as the environment was at Olympic Stadium last Sunday, how well did that finish and that locker room celebration match the moment?
It was awesome. It was a back and forth game, but to finish it the way we did in overtime, you know, Zaire got the tackle for loss, and then he gets the sack on third down. And then, you know, Daniel hits Tyler on the big pass down the sidelines, and then JT, boom, 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 boom. And then to finish it that way, a walk-off in overtime, it was electric.
So many clutch performances over the course of the game to get to that victory. And what did you see from your offensive line and from your run game as you were wearing the Atlanta defense down that created the opportunity for Jonathan in the walk-off touchdown?
Yeah, you kind of feel that on the sidelines as you're calling the game, and our guys were rolling pretty good up front, and the guys on the perimeter were blocking, and JT was feeling it. And when you feel that as a coach, you just keep feeding the guy that's feeling it. And his vision was awesome. The big-time runs he had were huge. Obviously setting the franchise record for rushing touchdowns. I mean, he created, you know, history, you know, in Berlin. So it was pretty fun to be a part of. And
that's exactly something I asked Zaire Franklin on the field after the game was, could there be a more fitting finish to that game than JT with the ball in his hands for the game-winning touchdown to cap off 3 touchdowns, 244 yards rushing, a day in which he surpassed Edgerrin James for the rushing touchdown record?
Yeah, I don't think there could have been a better way to end it. And it was a credit to our guys. They battled for 4 quarters plus, obviously, almost 5 quarters of football there. Just a gritty team win. And to do it the way we did it at the end, it was special.
Man, you're already in Berlin. Why not have a little bit of extra time to enjoy it? You mentioned the feel that you have on the sidelines. Is that what you're using mostly? And kind of how do you make that decision where you're like, hey, we're going for the touchdown. We're not going to settle for a field goal situation? Yeah,
a little bit. Obviously, we're running. He popped the big run. He made the guy miss in the backfield, and then he had that one. And then we got another one to where it was like, boom, and he was getting 8. And I was like, now we're down in there at 10. It's like, all right, let's just finish it the right way with the ball in his hands and go score right here. And hell of a job by the guys up front. Q pulling, trying to get the kick out. The guy jetted up the field, and then he made number 3 miss in the hole right there. It was special.
Certainly, JT, the focus of your run game. How beneficial has it been to be able to rotate Amir in there in a couple of situations, especially following some long runs, to give JT, you know, a bit of a spell to allow him to do what he has been doing of late?
Yeah, I think Amir's done a hell of a job for us. Obviously, an 11-year vet that knows, you know, how to go about his business, his process, his preparation. He's been doing a great job on special teams, but when he does have to go in there and take something off JT along with Goody, those guys have been doing a great job.
You talked about some of those runs that set up the touchdown run. I want to go all the way back to that 83-yard touchdown run that broke the franchise record. JT has talked so much about improving his patience as a runner, his vision as a runner. There was at one point it looked like that he was going to get walled off. Can you explain the discipline that it takes and the patience, the vision that it takes for him to exploit the smallest of creases and break it off for the run like he did.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of patience. I thought we got really good push on the nose guard there, and he was standing right behind him, boom, and then all of a sudden he's still on his feet and then pops that thing to the left, and that thing is running down our sidelines, and I'm running with them, and our whole sidelines is like, go score, you got to go. And Alex running down there, and Tyler Warren, I mean, the effort they had there, too, on the third level was huge. And it was just a great effort by him. It was a great effort by the guys on the perimeter, great effort by the O-line. It was awesome.
I love that you mentioned Tyler and Alec, because that was kind of my next question right here, because so many people will not see Alec's effort to cut across field. He's like downfield 60 yards, blocking his tail off. We've talked about the selflessness of your team. Is that kind of a perfect example with it when you look at that play?
Absolutely. I think, one of our standards, we talk about standards, right? Communication, attitude, effort, energy, and that was straight effort right there. And that's what you want out of your football team. You're playing for the guy next to you every time you step out there, and it's all about the team, and these guys are doing a hell of a job, embracing the team each and every week and playing community football. But it was just a great effort, by Alec and Tyler getting down there.
You mentioned Tyler's effort as well. He had a career day, 99 yards receiving, continues to climb up the franchise record books for a rookie tight end. And one of the things that Daniel said about Tyler last week was, while he's been impressed with Tyler, he's not at all been surprised because of the way that he approaches day in and day out. Where have you seen, even as strong as his start was, where has Tyler grown from week 1 to week 10?
Well, I think it's the consistency that he does it with. Like you said, I'm not surprised either by what he's doing. He came in day one, had his pro habits, had a routine, and he stuck to that routine. And we put a lot on his plate, from the run game to the pass game. When we need him in big moments like we did, the other day, he showed up and made those plays for us. So obviously just keep looking for that arrow up each and every week, keep improving and getting better.
When you did the halftime interview at the game in Berlin, you mentioned you got to eliminate those self-inflicted. So you talked about being better on third down in particular. How much will those things be a point of emphasis when you come off the bye week and you start the prep for Kansas City?
Yeah, they'll be huge. I think we got to control the things that we can control. The penalties, obviously we always want to get those cleaned up, taking care of the football. Those are some controllable things. There's other things that you can't control sometimes, but the things that we can control as a football team moving forward are going to be big to our success going forward.
One thing we did not get to talk about last week, because the trade was made after you and I had the interview, was the addition of Sauce Gardner. And one of the defensive coaches told me after the game, he's already influencing our room with the way that he works, his approach, the enthusiasm that he brings in. Where do you see Sauce Gardner having the greatest impact in putting this defense, not only the defense, really the team in general, in a position to compete?
I think it's huge. Anytime you can add an elite player, especially mid-season, I think it raises the level of everybody. Not only the defensive players, but the offensive players, the special teams guys. I mean, there's a belief and a confidence when you get a player like that in your building. And to have him here, and obviously on a short week, going over and playing in that game, almost got a pick six in his first game as a Colt. He was sticky in coverage, but he's got unbelievable coverage skills. Great feel, great instincts for the game of football. So to get, like I said, to get an elite player, in this building is huge for us.
And great energy. You could just see it. You could feel it out there. You could feel it on the sideline when he was over there. Without DeForest Buckner, his going on IR for the next few weeks, I know it's a next man up mentality. He's a difficult guy to replace. How do you see that group really filling that void? What do you need to see from them without Defoe?
Well, I think they got to continue what they're doing. We do talk about next man up, but Neville, obviously, and Grove in there, and Eric Johnson, and those guys stepping up each and every week and improving on their craft is going to be huge, for our success, without him.
Bye week, certainly much needed. How do you strike that balance? What is your command, your directive to the guys between getting the rest, the relaxation that everyone, much deserves and is much needed, yet also maintaining the level of focus that has you at 8-2 atop the division with a big stretch ahead of you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the players is just taking care of their bodies during the bye week. Guys got nicks and bruises. Everyone's going through that. No one's going to be 100% when you go through an NFL season, but really taking care of that. But get some time, get some rest, hang out with your families, get some recovery time. Obviously, watch some football. They're going to get to watch, the games on Sunday, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that myself. So, get some rest and recovery, and then be locked in and ready to go for Kansas City.
Coach, appreciate the time. Enjoy the time with the family. We'll see you back here next week.
All right, thank you.
see the Colts come out playing so well, and some of the individual performances from Daniel to Jonathan, it's great to see for the league.
Still ahead, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell on why the Colts' early success is good for the league and how the lasting legacy of Jim Irsay is being carried on. That's next on Colts 360.
Dove in German, but doves in Germany, baby! Oh, baby! Overseas, dog! Jonathan Taylor, MVP. Leave no doubt. Big dogs in Berlin, let's go! Roll kid! Oh, wait, we home. I'm tripping. Let's go. JT, MVP. You heard it here. Yes, sir. Let's go! Go! From Germany. Laughing out there. This not only is my first one as a coach, this is my first one of the year. Say that. You know that I've been a part of. Say that. You know, it's a blessing. Hey, many more to come. Another one, baby. Indianapolis Colts. We out here in Germany, got the job done. You know what it is. For the shoe, wear for Jim. Don for Shane. You know what it is. Y'all, let's go! Colts Nation, we're going on a little hiatus this week. We hope you enjoyed this one. You guys were amazing, man. Colts Nation, man, let's go for the shoe.
Welcome back to Colts 360. As the Colts celebrated a victory in the first ever NFL game played at Olympic Stadium, Commissioner Roger Goodell visited with our very own Matt Taylor pregame to explain the impact of the growth of the game internationally, the work of the Irsay daughters in carrying on the family legacy, and why the Colts' success is good for the NFL.
Colts fans are on the Colts sideline here at Olympic Stadium in Berlin, Germany, getting ready for the Colts and Falcons. And it's our absolute pleasure right now to be joined by the Commissioner of the National Football League, Mr. Roger Goodell. Roger, this is the first ever NFL regular season game in the city of Berlin. I know it's a huge undertaking. It's a huge endeavor. What emotions and feelings do you have with the sights and sounds here at this historic venue?
Well, it's a great celebration for us. The first regular season game is a huge landmark for us, but we actually started playing here back in 1990, and I was fortunate to be part of that. So it goes back a long ways, and the stadium's been through multiple renovations, but it's a very historic, iconic facility, and I think one that the fans obviously will love being here, but I hope the players do too. So.
What personal reflections do you have with the city of Berlin? Like you said, they did play regular preseason games here in the 1990s. Just the journey that the NFL and the city of Berlin, the two have been on between then and now.
Well, coming here first in 1989, right after the wall came down, and then trying to find a place where we wanted to play. Paul Takeover was the commissioner then, asked me to find some place, and this was the perfect place for us. It ended up being a huge success the following summer with the Rams and the Chiefs. And it's just built, I think, all of our enthusiasm, but it's also created the momentum we have now internationally where teams want to play internationally. They want to play regular season games. Even the coaches love to get out here. And I think it's a great way for us to share our game with the world. And our players and our coaches, they're all ambassadors of our game, and they're the greatest ambassadors. So it's meaningful to the fans here that the Colts are here and the Falcons are here.
This is the 36th anniversary of the Berlin Wall coming down today as we play this game. When it comes to playing this game in Berlin, if you're going to be here, how important was it for the NFL to play this game in and around this date?
I think it's significant, and I think it's part of the way the German fans look at the future, and they're looking forward. And I think the NFL has brought to them another perspective of the future, and the international aspect of that, and that they're part of the international aspect of the NFL. So I think all of that is really important to them, and it's also a solemn day here because this is a day that they also memorialize a lot of the losses too. But it's an important day to look forward.
This is the third different German city that the NFL has visited. Why does Germany continue to be a very important country for the NFL to continue to explore and host games in?
I think it always starts with the fans. The fans are very passionate here in big numbers. We have over 20 million fans here, and part of our effort is to be a global sport. And this market, Germany in general, but Berlin and Frankfurt and Munich have all been a big part of our regular series. This will really, I think, accelerate our growth here to be successful here in Germany. And other markets are seeing it. Other markets want the game. Other markets see the success that's happened here for their communities. I also think it's a great thing for the city of Indianapolis to be able to see their city here on this stage in Europe and throughout the world. And it says a lot about the city of Indianapolis also.
What are the positive impacts that you see from the NFL when it comes to visiting different countries and playing in international cities?
Well, we always say that the NFL unifies and that we're the great convener. And I think this is a time when, you can have your differences, but we all bring this here in a collective way. And I think football can also be used as a very important diplomatic tool. We spent a lot of time over the last few days with the public leaders as well as private leaders and talking about the integration. We had representatives from Indianapolis here, both in the public sector and the private sector. And it's a chance for there to be an opportunity to create that common interest and build bridges and give us an opportunity to promote the city of Indianapolis and talk about all the great things that are happening here in Berlin. So we're really excited to be able to play that role.
As it relates to the Colts, I know back in October you had a chance to present Kaylin Jackson, Colts owner, with the Sports Visionary of the Year award for her efforts in the mental health space and certainly the Colts Kicking the Stigma initiative from the Irsay family. How special of a moment was that for you to share that with her?
It was a very proud moment for me, and I was honored that Kaylin asked me. And, I go back a long ways with Jim. We were the same age, and Jim and I sort of grew up in the NFL together. So to see all three of these girls stepping up and continuing the legacy of their fathers, it makes me proud. And I know their father's up there smiling, and particularly smiling today down on this.
Yeah, like you said, the Colts did lose Jim Irsay back in May. I know you guys were very close. What do you think is his lasting impact and legacy on the National Football League and certainly in Indianapolis with the Colts?
Well, it starts with these three girls. There's no question about that, and they're spectacular, and they'll do a great job with this franchise. I know how much football means to them, but also Indianapolis. But I also think Jim had a great interest in the success of the league. He brought that perspective of we need to make the league as strong as possible, not just each franchise. But he also believed each franchise had a responsibility to obviously be connected to their community, represent their fans, represent their city, and do it in a way that made us all proud. And Jim's legacy will live on through his girls and I think through the NFL in a way that will make him proud.
And lastly, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Colts. Off to a great start. They're 7-2. From your standpoint, how enjoyable are they to watch?
Matt, I was surprised you took that long to ask that question.
Should have led with that, right?
No, it's great for us. We talk about the competitive balance in the NFL, and to see the Colts come out playing so well, and some of the individual performances from Daniel to Jonathan, it's great to see for the league, and that kind of competitive balance is what I think brings hope to all our fans, and it can turn around quickly, and it's great to see it. I'm glad for Coach, I'm glad for the organization, and I'm glad for the city.
No question about it. That's the commissioner of the NFL, Mr. Roger Goodell. Roger, appreciate your time very much. Congratulations on this endeavor, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Matt. I look forward to seeing you in Indy next time.
Watching the team play, they've been absolutely fantastic.
Coming up, relive the Berlin experience. From parties to philanthropy, enjoying the culture and meeting the fans. A recap of the franchise takeover, still ahead on Colts 360. Leading up to kickoff in Berlin, the franchise was all over the city, from autograph signings to honoring veterans to growing the game of flag football. We leave you this week with the sights and sounds of Berlin. Enjoy your bye week. We'll see you back here next week.
Let's go!
Watching the team play, they've been absolutely fantastic.
He makes the catch. Touchdown!
This season, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is teaming up with the Colts to shine a light on outstanding small businesses. Indy is our hometown, and boosting local business is just one way we want to thank this great city. Go to Colts.com/Anthem Spotlight to nominate your favorite small business today. Anthem and the Colts, helping Hoosier small businesses score. Satisfy your halftime hunger with Snickers and enter for a chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 60 at Snickers.com/halftime. This message is brought to you by Meijer, the official super center of the Indianapolis Colts, and proud sponsors of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. It's time for the Fordham Credit Union Question of the Week.
Since 2000, who was the only non-rookie quarterback to lead their team to the #1 seed in his first season? Peyton Manning completed that feat in 2012, doing so with the Denver Broncos. The Broncos went on to finish that season 13-3 with Peyton Manning at the helm and losing a double overtime divisional round playoff game to the Joe Flacco-led Baltimore Ravens, who went on to win the Super Bowl.
Visit the Forum Credit Union fan forum section of Colts.com to interact with other fans online. Forum Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams.